Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is that time of the night for the Dirt and Asphalt podcast. Tonight, as you all know, we have Lance Dewease calling in. We're going to have a phone interview with Lance. We have some other things to talk about tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's do this thing. Alrighty, so welcome back to the Dirt and Asphalt podcast. Again, we want to thank you all for joining us tonight. We have some exciting things going on. Obviously, we're going to have Lance Dewease. Also, tonight is the first night of the Jackson Nationals. Alex, who are you picking there?
Oh, it's going to be tough to tell, Safe. They got 42 strong World of Outlaw sprint cars checked in tonight. I know the 41 car driven by David Gravel, they're traditionally pretty tough at Jackson, so I think they'll be a favorite. I'm probably going to go with Brad Sweet to win Saturday night, the 41,000, just because
sure. He's on a roll.
He's been really consistent all season, and he's won the last two Outlaw shows, and they're fast right now. They're gonna be tough to beat. So I'll pick Brad Sweet tonight. I'll go with David Gravel, but for the weekend, on Saturday I'll go with Brad Sweet. So,
tonight. Oh man, there's a lot of good drivers there tonight. I'm gonna say Brad Sweet's gonna win tonight.
Okay.
And.
We probably ought to write these down.
Man, I know.
We ought to write these down.
Okay,
right,
he's writing them down.
We're writing down our predictions because Safe's going to owe me $20, even though we didn't shake on it.
So I'm saying Sweet.
Thursday, you're going Sweet.
Yep.
I think, aren't we both going Sweet, though?
No, you're
Gravel,
going. Yeah, you pick Gravel
Brad
tonight.
Sweet. I'll put Safe up there. Saif. And then Alex, which is me. I think we all know that. Thursday, I'm going with Gravel.
You mean Friday? You're going Gravel?
No, I'm going with Gravel tonight.
Oh, okay. You were confusing me a little bit.
I have the ability to do that.
You're good at that.
Friday night, who you got, Safe? Don't ever do that again if you can help it.
I'm gonna go Ian Matson. No, I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm feeling frisky, feeling dangerous.
I'm kind of scared to sit
feeling
by you now. Friday night, I'm gonna pick. I don't know why, but I'm going to go out on a limb, too. I'm going to pick his brother, Kerry. I think Kerry
Wow.
I'm going to go with Kerry Madsen.
Okay.
On
No,
Friday.
hey, no hate
and
there.
Then Saturday, did we both have Brad Sweet?
No, I'm not picking Brad Sweet to win Saturday.
You got to be kidding me.
Mm-mm.
Who are you going with?
Terry McCarl.
What?
I don't know.
Really?
No.
All right. Terry McCarl.
Feeling dangerous. Boys, feeling dangerous.
Hey, you never know. Terry's had a lot of success in his career, a lot of 410 wins, so...
You're taking Brad Saturday night?
I'm taking Brad Sweet on Saturday.
He's on a roll. He won. He's got
5
second
Outlaw
night
wins.
of the Bash of Brownells, and then he won at Beaver Dam.
20,000 on the Jim Boyd Memorial. I'm telling you what.
Hey,
it's gonna be a tough one.
Hey, I'm not complaining at all. Very good picks. We're gonna see what happens. I'm picking some underdogs.
Should we get started with this interview tonight?
Yeah. So again, folks.
Is Lance ready?
Lance, I just messaged him. I said,
if you guys
ready?
have any questions for Lance, just go ahead and inbox him and leave him on the live chat.
Real quick, Alex, before we get him on the phone, why don't you go through some of his stats with us?
I think we all know Lance Dewease has been around the 410 sprint car world for a long time, longer than most of us have probably been alive or been racing. Lance Dewease is currently the all-time feature winner at the Williams Grove Speedway in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania.
It's like 96 or 97.
97 career wins. I couldn't
We can
find the
ask
exact
him.
number.
We'll ask him.
He's got 15 career World of Outlaw wins, and he's won preliminary night of the Knoxville Nationals before. So I mean, he's had a very successful.
He also
career.
won one of the craziest races at Williams Grove when his wing was caught sideways.
When the wing laid over on the front like that.
Yeah,
that was cool.
And he was able to hold Greg Hognett off.
Yeah.
And Raymer, I think it was.
Yeah, there's a lot of good cars.
But that was awesome. That was awesome.
He knows how to get it done.
He knows how to wheel and deal. If you've never met Lance or his team, coolest guys I've ever met. Davey Brown, that guy.
We're gonna talk to Lance about that tonight.
So we're gonna talk to Lance. So let's get
Folks,
Lance.
Hope you enjoy our interview. Let's give Lance a shout.
Let's give him a shout.
Hello.
Hey Lance, this is Safe and Alex from the Dirt and Asphalt podcast. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, Steven.
Good. Hey, so we got you on the phone. We're really excited to talk with you. Obviously, we know that you're in the Sprint Car Hall of Fame. You have so many career wins at Williams Grove. How many are you at now, Lance?
95, I think it is, at Williams Grove.
There you go.
Pretty
Okay, so Lance, obviously, we know you've been in racing for a long time, and you've been in some different cars and things. Why did you decide to go with Kreitz Racing?
Well, I kind of was at the stage in my career where I was about done, and then Kreitz had to retire, and then I knew how good the race car would be. I raced against that car my whole career, so I knew how fast that race car is. So I just took a shot and called him, and it took us about 5 minutes to kind of work out the details, and it's kind of been revitalized my career a little bit.
So Lance, you've had a pretty successful run with Kreitz Motorsports, and you've had a pretty good start 2019. I think you've already got 5 or 6 wins in just a limited amount of starts. How would you assess your 2019 season so far?
It's been a good one. I actually don't think we're as good as we were last year yet. But every year is a little different. It's always, everything changes a little bit. Cars are a little different with the new bars we had to add. Tires always seem like they change a little bit from year to year. Track surfaces change a little bit from year to year. So it's always a moving target. But, yeah, I would say we're A, but not A+ yet.
So what do you think it's going to take to get to that A+ rating, as you put it?
I just think we need to get our cars hooked up a little better like we were last year. I just don't feel like we're there like we were last year, especially in the year. But, we only ran, I think, 13 shows or 14 shows right now. So, and, with how the weather has been, we've been on a little bit of everything as far as track conditions. So you're not getting no consistent track conditions to kind of keep working on the same thing. And, with our Speed Week starting tomorrow, it'll help us because we're going to race a lot more, which will help us kind of get dialed in a little better.
So with that being said, Lance, with Speed Week, as you said, kicking off tomorrow night, what's kind of the team's expectations for Speed Week this year? Obviously, the goal is probably to win the championship there, but what is your guys' goal?
Well, we don't worry about winning the championship because we don't run all the races.
Okay.
We'll probably run somewhere between 80% to 50% of the races. Just depends on how the week starts and what Mother Nature does. And, it's hard for us to run a lot of back-to-back racing, so we have to pick and choose. But our goal is the same as any race. We go there and try to win. We're going to show up tomorrow at Williams Grove, and our goal is to try to win that race. If we don't win that race, our next night, which is Lincoln, we'll worry about winning that one. That's always our goal every night is just try to show up and win, do the best we can.
So, Lance, you said you're only going to be 80 to 50% on weather and everything. I don't know if a lot of people know this, but you do. I think most of you guys on that team work a full-time job. How do you think that's a challenge at all, that you work full-time and then you're just racing on the side? Do you think that hurts you at all, or do you think that's more of an advantage for your guys' team?
Well, our advantage for our team is a lot of things. One, the experience that everybody has. Two is we're fresher a lot of times because we don't race all the time. And, to be honest, a lot of PA cars all have full-time work. Guys work full-time jobs. And, a lot of people, hammer us for not traveling more and all that. Well, there's nobody right now in Central PA that has full-time help. Where it's a full team, every guy's a full, paid team, not like an outlaw team or some other, teams that travel a lot more. Even Danny Dietrich, most of his guys work full-time jobs. So it's, that's one of the reasons why we don't travel as much as people think we should. And also, we can race so much locally that we don't have to travel. So
Lance, what does that mean to you? You guys are really successful for the limited amount of racing that you guys do. What does that mean to you to be able to compete and to oftentimes beat teams that race full time for a living, have corporate sponsorship, the whole 9 yards? What does that mean to you guys?
Well, it means a lot just to win races. I mean, it don't matter if it's against our local competition or the World Outlaws or the All Stars or whoever. We go to every race the same way. We might not be the best funded team, but we get every ounce out of every sponsorship dollar we have.
What With that being said, in your opinion, we've had Brad Sweet on here in the past. We had Mark Dobmeyer, Lasowski, some of those guys, and we asked them the same question, and we want to hear your opinion. What's your opinion of what it takes to be competitive in modern sprint car racing? With the way the engines and the cars, everything's so equal. What do you think it takes to be a super successful sprint car team in today's era?
Well, I think there's a couple different things. First of all, you have to be very consistent. That's what Shots is with the Outlaws team, Outlaw Series the last 10 years. And Sweet's getting there now the last 2 years. He's starting to be really consistent everywhere they go. Most of the time you have to time really good, and you have to keep all your equipment, sharp. And, the other thing is, on like the Outlaw end of it, and even our end, is wrecking does you no good. Wrecking puts you behind. So, you have to keep your equipment sharp, and the easiest way to keep your equipment sharp is not be tearing it up week in and week out.
So, do you also think, obviously, your guys' team is really good. I've met you. I got to talk with Davey. I got to talk with your car owner, Dan Kreitz, a little bit. A lot of guys call you the Dream Team. What do you think about you guys being called the Dream Team?
Well, I think that's kind of neat, actually. It just means we're old, I think. They called when I first started, they called the Weichert, when Wolfgang was there with Davey Brown and his boy, they called that the original Dream Team. So, it's just neat. It's a neat thing. We've had a lot of success in a short period of time, and it's an honor to be called stuff like that. But we don't let it get to us, our heads or anything. We just worry about trying to go racing and do the best we can.
So what's it?
Because this sport will humble you really quick.
What's it, Lance? With that, you mentioned Davey Brown in there. A guy who's won a pile of races as a crew chief. What's it like working with Davey?
Oh, it's easy. He's so laid back, and he just watches his race car and does what the race car wants. He never once talks about the driver not doing this or doing that, and he just worries about the race car. And there's plenty of times that we won races and he wasn't happy with the race car, and it's just how he is, and that I understand why he's been so successful his whole life. Just his approach to the racing.
So what do you think makes Davey, maybe a little more special than a lot of the other crew chiefs out there across the country, or maybe ones that you worked with in the past?
Well, just what I said. I think what makes him so special is he worries about his race car. He don't worry about how the guy drives it, or the guy's not running this corner hard enough or not running in hard enough. And he worries about making the race car as right as it physically can be to the racetrack, and you don't worry about all the outside stuff. And it just shows. It's pretty amazing how much, when we're not right, how good they can make it. And Don Kreitz is pretty sharp too when it comes to this. So it's just amazing with them two together, how sharp and how good they can make a race car when it's so bad at certain times. So in a quick turnaround.
Yeah, so obviously we saw that at Knoxville, what you're talking about, that quick turnaround. The first night you had some, obviously it was your first time there in a while. I was talking with Davey about that, and then the second night you won the dash. You started on the pole, still finished top 10. You got 6th. Obviously we know we're going to see you back for nationals, so with coming and running the big gun bash and everything, what's it going to take for you guys to potentially win the nationals this year?
Well, there's a lot there. We're realistic. We're going out there trying to make a show first, and then if you get in that position, it depends on where you start. You maybe can get a shot at it, but you have to have so much go your way out there. You have to time very good on your qualifying night. Then you have to be really good in the heat race, and that's the hardest thing. Those two items are the hardest thing all week long. If you get through that, then the rest of it's a little bit easier. You can worry about your race cars. But we know how hard it really is out there, and we showed up on Friday when we were out there for the Outlaw shows of how bad we were. We made a good bit of changes for Saturday, and we had the speed in the car. We're still not. We can't run the bottom right yet, like Sweet can and what Donnie Shots will be able to at the Nationals. And but we gained a lot and we learned a lot. So hopefully, when we show up in August, we'll be a little bit better yet.
Do you feel a lot more comfortable at Knoxville? I know you've been away for a couple of years, but compared to where you started the weekend to where you're at now, do you feel a lot more comfortable?
Oh yeah, it was a huge difference from Friday night to even Saturday night, like in warm-ups and time trials. How much more comfortable I felt with the car, how much better the car was, where I could drive it instead of it driving me. The first night we were really bad in the heat race, and then they over-adjusted it and got me way too loose the other way in the B main that night. And then on Saturday we were a lot closer right off the start, so we didn't make a whole lot of adjustments, which might have hurt us late in the feature, but it got us where we wanted to be and to see where we need to head.
So with that in mind, with Knoxville, we know also this year you guys are going to be in Ohio at Eldora for the Kings Royal. Why don't you talk us through what it's like at Eldora for you guys? What are your expectations there?
Well, that's still a to be determined race for us.
Okay.
We got stuff set up for that, but between our speed weeks and the Outlaws coming back in, all the other races we have from here to that time period, and with us going to Knoxville, it just depends on how everything rolls. I think we could be okay there. We also know we're not going to show up and be rock ship quick right out of the box. But if we do show up, we'll have 3 nights, 2 nights of racing before the Kings Roll to race. So, I think we'll be all right. Looking what Kings Roll and what Eldora's kind of been like the last couple of years, it's not like it used to be where you just pound the wall like all anymore. It's very it's very more middle bottom. If you're right, you run the top. But you look at how Shots has been very good there, who don't pound the wall. Logan Schuhart's been very good there. Greg Wilson gets around that place about as good as anybody. If he could qualify better. It's just if you get right, you can get around that place pretty good. My owner won the Kings Roll there, years and years ago. So, it's just another racetrack. You just have to adjust to what you need to do and figure it out in a short period of time.
So obviously you've had a very successful start to the year. Knoxville is in the future. Eldora to be determined. What is kind of the goal for you guys the rest of the year? Like, where are you kind of planning on racing, and what are your expectations with all these races you have scheduled coming up?
Well, our expectation is to try to win. That's our expectations. That's what they've been for the last 3 years. So, but if we don't win, that's the nice thing about the whole team is everybody's been around so long. We know you can't win every single one. You're going to have your bad nights. And nobody gets down in the dumps. We just worry about the next race after whatever happened that night. So that's what's so great about this team. I've been doing it 30-plus years. Donald's been doing it, 40-some years. And Davey's been doing it longer than I've been living. So it's really good. The whole group, the whole team, it's very good. Just like Knoxville, we were so bad the first night. Nobody hung their heads or got upset or, point fingers. We just went to work. And that's what this team does.
So with all that in mind, we actually have a question from one of our fans watching tonight. He's asking this: who's the toughest driver to compete with in Central Pennsylvania?
Right now?
Yeah.
Sure.
If he means right now, I would say Danny Dietrich.
Okay.
Just because that's, Danny's going really good this year. He's been really fast everywhere he goes. He beat the Outlaws, in Jersey on basically a racetrack. Nobody had an advantage on him because it was the first time that 410's ever even been on the track that size when they redid it. So, he's been really fast everywhere he's been. And, he's going to be tough at the races we run during Speed Week. It's, I would have said Greg Hodnett, but, we lost him last year. And, it's just a different feeling this year about him around. So, especially
absolutely.
for me, being one of the older guys, me and Greg got along a good bit, and it just kind of, it's just different now when I show up to the track.
So that's actually kind of leads right into my next question, and it's a question we ask quite frequently to our sprint car guys on the show. And you bringing up Greg's passing, and then obviously Jason's accident a couple months prior to that, and a lot of the sanctioning bodies and the tracks have done their best to try and make the cars as safe as they can be in some of the tracks. And I was going to ask you, do you think those changes were in the right direction? And if going forward, what else would you change if you could?
I hate to say people overreacted because they didn't, but I think all the changes they've done has been good. I don't necessarily agree with some of the stuff they've done with the cars, but it's okay. I look at I shattered my neck probably 8 years ago now, 10 years ago. I forget how long it was, and I was a millimeter from not walking. And then Kevin Swindell, from my understanding, how he hurt himself is the same way I hurt myself. And you take the deaths out of it because they are unique. Greg's death has nothing to do with Jason Johnson's death and what happened, and
right.
That's all unique. But a lot of the sprint car injuries come from spinal cord compressions. And there's nothing that they've done in rules to help that. But I think there's some things we could do, but the only way you really do it right, they would have to add weight, up the weight limit. So it's not, guys like me and Danny Dietrich and all, we could do some safety stuff for the seats and feel like we still can be competitive. But right now, with how the weight rule is and all, it's pretty hard. I mean, we cut every single ounce for me and to be competitive for qualifying, and Danny too. Because we're just heavier and bigger guys, and it's there's some stuff there I think we could do with the seats to help prevent my type of neck injury I have or Kevin's accident, and but nobody seems to look at that area right now.
So, yeah, you brought up, I tend to agree with you, Lance, and I know Safe does as well, that the cars themselves are relatively safe, and, sometimes accidents just happen. But do you feel like there's been a lot of talk throughout the sport and everything about maybe some of the racetracks that you guys go to, maybe they're not quite up to the safety standards, that a 410 sprint car needs, with proper lighting and catch fences and safety crews and this and that. Do you think there's things that the tracks themselves could do to try and make these facilities safer for you guys to race on?
Oh, yeah. I mean, every track probably could do stuff. I've done this a long time. I was to an all-star show once that didn't have no fire equipment, and Logan Schuchart caught fire, and it was a mess because they didn't have no fire trucks there. And I blame that on the sanction body at the time, and I won't get into who sanction body was and who owned it at the time.
Yeah,
it's in way better hands right now. But it's just races are going to race no matter what. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
But I can sit back and I look at every racetrack I'm at, and you always can see certain things that are a little risky or not. Our area racetracks have done a pretty darn good job over the years of trying to fix their issues and all. I mean, the deal at Susquehanna or Bath Speedway, whatever you want to call it. That was like that forever. And it just took the perfect impact.
Just the wrong timing.
The wrong time.
Yeah.
Just everything for
it was a perfect
happened.
storm.
Yeah.
And they fixed it. But that don't mean now they got concrete up there. The same thing, in my opinion, with how they kind of fixed it, the same thing could happen with the concrete they have there now.
Right.
Without even going into opening. If you hit concrete hard enough head on, it's not going to be pretty.
Yeah, there's a lot of racetracks in our neck of the woods, Lance, that have old concrete walls with openings. It's the same recipe. It just thankfully hasn't happened yet. We hope it never does. And I know there's a lot of.
Well,
they're trying.
They have a gate.
Okay.
The concrete is exposed, which I don't know why. Everybody has their own opinions, and and I'm not bashing nobody, but I don't know why they had to have the concrete exposed to the race cars. They could have guardrails in front of it, offset it some, and have guardrails in front of it to absorb some of the impact. Just things like that, little things you look at. what happened at Atomic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Should never happen. That's really bad there.
Yeah, they got pretty.
That's the
pretty
worst
lucky.
thing. Yeah, that's the worst thing that really could happen to our sports. We get a car up in the stands.
Yeah.
Volusia County, had two go the other year.
Mm-hmm.
They changed it. I don't agree with that. They put a concrete wall up with better fencing. I wish they wouldn't have done the concrete wall because that place is real fast. And I hope I'm wrong, but somebody's going to get seriously hurt there with concrete around the outside.
Right.
I'm okay kind of with the concrete on the inside of the speedway, but the outside of the speedway, when something don't turn or something,
It can't.
They make hard brain.
Yeah, the car can't absorb the energy.
No. And that's the only thing I hope they kind of realize, and they don't try to get our race cars too stiff, because then if you get the race cars too stiff, first the thing that takes are the impacts the driver, and that's when
Exactly.
you start hurting yourselves.
Yeah.
You hurt a driver sooner that way than if the car collapses. But as far as like the cage sports, I'm 100% agree with that. I've seen too many cages collapse in the last 5-10 years, from the speeds we run now. So I was okay for that.
Has those kind of a little bit changing subject, but has adding those bars, obviously it's probably changed the structure of the chassis a little bit. Has that affected the handling of the cars a little bit different this year?
I think so. We don't. Some of the outlaw guys, had them in last year, so I don't really know. But I think that's one of the reasons why our cars. That's why I said earlier about the cars are a little different. Tires always end up being a little different. Surfaces are a little different every year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just all that combined, I don't feel like we're as good as we were last year yet. And I do think, I just know from built my own cars and being around this a long time, anytime you do structural and you stiffen the race cars up, they get a little bit more finicky on the handling aspect of them.
Awesome.
So, you've obviously, like you said, you've been around a while. Something that I'm seeing more and more of a hot topic this year, mostly out in central Pennsylvania, and I just want kind of your opinion on this. A lot of people, and this kind of bugs me because I don't think people understand, a lot of you guys out there are working class. When people say the term porch setter, I know there's a deal with another team right now when they had their logo designs made. Someone said it represented a porch in the background, and some of the things are on them. What do you think about that term, being a central Pennsylvania guy? But you get out and travel, though, and a lot of you guys do. What do you think about all that term?
Oh, I don't worry about it. About a month or so ago, Larson was having some fun with it, and I kind of had some fun back with it, and me and Cal get along, fine. So we're just having fun with it, and Danny gets wound up about a little bit, but I've won in Charlotte, I've won in Michigan, I've won all over the place, Florida.
Yep.
I beat the Outlaws, outside PA. So
Right.
I've done this. I don't worry about what anyone says about
nothing.
me.
You have nothing to prove.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's interesting because people, like we talked earlier, people don't realize we don't have full-time teams in here.
Right.
So to expect guys to go, I mean, realistically, Knoxville, like give an example between our team, my family, right now I have $6,000 worth of hotel rooms booked for Knoxville.
Right.
oh, wow.
People don't think about that stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They just think you go race. And that's not any other expense. So I don't worry about it. As far as the porch deal, we're having some fun with that for our Knoxville shirt. So it'll be interesting to see how that comes out. So we're fine with it. I don't worry about it. I just wish people. What makes me Larson and other racers, they're just having fun. We're just having good, friendly fun with it. But you get these keyboard warriors that don't have a clue about racing and run their mouths that don't really know anything.
Well, and they take everything you say out of context too, and that's the thing.
Yeah, and like I said, that's what ticks me off is that. Obviously, like I said, I got to talk with you at Knoxville, Davey and Dan, and I've always understood that you guys out there, you guys are, working class guys. I mean, you don't go around and do this full time, so that's why I wanted to know that, because seeing it from the side where you are, I mean, you guys are, a great team. You get out and travel. So, I mean, that's why I want to know, because that really ticks me off when people say, oh, they're just a bunch of porch setters out there,
Yeah, you learned a long time ago you have to have thick skin. I was a kid who said you don't ever believe anything that anybody ever says about you, good or bad.
Yeah.
That's
That's true.
You don't believe the hype, and you don't believe the bad stuff. So it's just, I've been doing this a long time. I care less what anybody thinks about me.
Yeah.
So I don't worry about that.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
But nice thing about social media nowadays is, and I'm starting to have a little bit more fun with it this year, is we can kind of come back at people, and normally when race teams come back at people, the keyboard warriors, they disappear. It's kind of funny how that works. We had some people bashing us, and we had a few people involved with our team kind of responded right to them back. And then once we respond back, the fans tend to see that, and then they hammer the people, and all of a sudden that person's kind of gone for a while. You don't even hear them. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So, the bad part about social media is it can be so great, so positive for our sport and all sports.
Right.
But 80% of the time, it's the negative side, not the positive side.
Yeah, it's just like everything else in life. Money can be used for good, money can be used for bad. It just depends on who wields it. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I will give you a perfect example of the positive side of social media is when Wayne County scheduled that show in 12-hour time during Speed Week, Ohio Speed Week, Buckeye. That's the positive side of social media nowadays. You could do that. You could take the chance and do that and get the word out there so easily now.
And
compared to 20 years. 20 years ago, you'd never been able to do that.
No.
At all.
Yeah, and it paid off really good for him.
Yeah,
that's the positive side of social media. You can find out stuff in a hurry. You can get words out there in a hurry about certain things, and the more the positive comes out, the less the negative is there. So it has its benefits, but man, I just wish people would use it more positive than they do negative.
Yeah, I think we all wish that.
I mean, in all aspects, of life.
Definitely.
So, with that being said, and kind of back to not really the porch setting thing, but if you really think about it, there's not really a reason for you guys to leave Central Pennsylvania. You can race 3 or 4 nights a week, and the caliber of competition you guys compete against is almost World of Outlaw caliber competition on a night in, night out basis. So, the thing is, I mean, there's not really a reason to get out and travel that much. So.
No, there's not, and that's what we kind of laugh about it, us local guys, because we physically locally from say Harrisburg, PA.
Yeah.
You can race 80 times a year and sleep in your own bed every single night.
Yeah.
There's not another area in the country that can say that.
Not for sprint car racing.
No, definitely not.
Other than maybe Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
But Ohio don't start as early as us, and they don't run as late as us, I don't think.
No, I think you're...
But Ohio has enough racetracks semi-closer, not as close as we do, but semi-close, that you could race Attica, Fremont, Wayne County, I'm missing some in there, Atomic,
Fremont,
and still, and sleep in your own bed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you wanted to, unless you're way off of one end of the state or the other, but you know what I mean? But other than that, like Knoxville, those guys, like Brian Brown and them guys at Knoxville, they drive 3 to 5 to 6 hours to race from night to night.
It's true.
So, I mean, people can bash us all they want, call us porch setters all they want. I'm happy with sitting and sleeping in my own bed every night and, be able to do it, for a long period of time. And, it's a lot nicer than hopping across the countryside, going to California and having 4 races, one a weekend, and they all rain out
Mm-hmm.
and not race any. You know what I mean? That outlaw deal is really tough on them guys to me because, man, that would get old in a hurry.
Yeah,
you
it
know,
would.
watching it rain out like they did this year.
So I want to go back to something. I was getting so excited and going through questions here. Back to what was the idea? Why are you guys coming back to Knoxville? Was that something that you were really wanting to do, and then that sponsorship came about, or was this just something all of a sudden you guys just decided to do it?
No, we've discussed it ever since I hopped in the car. And I've always said the only way I'm coming back to Knoxville, the only way I want to come back to Knoxville is you have to do it right. And that means not showing up just at Nationals time and expect to be
Right.
okay. Yeah, use us as a perfect example. So you guys seen how bad we were Friday at Knoxville on the first night of the Outlaw Show.
Correct.
If we showed up in August and was that bad on our preliminary night, we were done.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, it'd be.
Now, with the new format, you do have a second life now.
Oh, with the Friday night
But,
program.
I mean,
yeah.
With the Friday night program, but with how it always was, if I had been that bad on my preliminary night, we were done. You know what I mean? We might as well load up and go home because we were going to be bad. And, it's such a hard deal to do it anyhow and be competitive there. It's no different than when outsiders come to Williams Grove to me. It's a very hard racetrack to show up and go fast and get around right the first time. Knoxville's the same way. It's a whole different deal, and that's why the locals run really good out there.
Mm-hmm.
And I just, I've had that discussion. I'd go just for nationals if they want to, but I preached the whole time. Yeah, to do it right, we have to go out ahead of time and just see where we stand. And I'm so happy we did. And, hopefully when we come out in August, we'll be a little better. I mean, we could be worse. You never know, but at least we kind of have an area we need to go in, and we learn some things. And it just, I don't want to be there just to be there. I've done it too many times and been there already enough. I don't need to be there just to say I'm at the Nationals.
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
So what is the big difference? I mean, from we've never drove a sprint car, and a lot of people watching them obviously never drove a sprint car. What is the big difference between Knoxville and Williams Grove, where you run almost weekly? What are the big differences as a driver?
Well, the tracks are just so unique. Knoxville is so rounded. You have to keep your corner speed up so much and carry your speed around the corner so much. And then what the other difference with Knoxville is Knoxville is really grippy, but then it gets really slick. And it has both. It has really slick spots and it has really grippy spots. So it's very hard to get the car to roll in the middle of the corners. If it's slick or wet,
Mm-hmm.
you have both. You normally have both.
Right.
So you look at guys like Brian Brown, Brad Sweet right now is rolling really good around there, and Donnie always, Shots always plays unbelievably. So
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those places. Seems like once you figure it out, that works all the time. It seems like, and the Grove's kind of the same way. Once you kind of figure it out, your setup will repeat. Year after year after year, you'll be close. And I just think those two tracks are unique, and they're way different because the Grove is 2/4 round drag strips with corners.
Right.
Yeah.
It's tight, and where Knoxville don't have much straightaways at all. It's round, it's momentum, it's flat. There's not a lot of banking. You have to be able to run the bottom there to be really good, and you have to be able to run the bottom and run it right, and run the berm and use the left front on the berm without unloading the race car really bad. So it's a very hard place to run.
Yeah, definitely. So my final question from me is, I want to go back to the night where you ended up holding off Greg Hognet when your wing broke on the top. What was going through your head when that wing broke and coming out with the victory still? What was going through your head that night?
Well, when it first did it, I thought the wing collapsed. Years ago, we used to have problems where the post would push up through the wing. The
Mm-hmm.
wing would basically collapse down over the front post.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then I seen the post was out of it. It come out on the right side. And then I kind of slowed up like wasn't sure. Well, I went down the back stretch and I didn't hear nobody yet. And it made it through the next corner. I'm like, well, we're going to run her. It kind of, it was hard to go anywhere because what it did, when the right post come out, it bent the left post basically in a almost 90-degree angle, and the right-hand sideboard was against the cage.
Yeah.
So really, it kind of, other than blowing off, once I made a lap and realized it wasn't going to blow off the car yet, it was just a handful. You actually drove off the corner very good because of how it angled and everything. It had a lot of downforce.
Huh.
But it was a handful down the straightaways. The right front was way up in the air.
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't run out high any. I kind of had to use up all the racetrack. And, it turned out to be really a fun race to watch. And, it was exciting for the fans. And, the 2 laps is all I had. It had been another lap. One of them 2 guys were, finally timed it and got by me. But, we could use them up and block for 2 laps. And, we were fortunate enough to get the win.
Did you have a hard time seeing out of it?
Not going in a straight line, no.
Right.
It just makes it loads the car so hard it gets the right front, and the Grove does that anyhow. The Grove gets left so hard it carries right front some anyhow. But with what the wing was doing, it make it carry it. So what happens there is when it comes up, it pulls really hard left.
Mm-hmm.
But now you're turning right, and the car's going left still, and you're forcing it up the racetrack to get it so you can enter the next corner. And I was worn out after those 2 laps like that.
Oh, I bet, man.
So it was fun. It's a great story. I still see video clips of it every once in a while, and luckily I had 2 really good racers behind me that raced me clean, and then wrecked me. I didn't use them up as far as chop them hard or anything like that, but they kind of knew. The difference is their experience. They knew where I had to go and what I was going to do. The problem was they just couldn't do nothing about it.
I was going to say, that's my favorite highlight to watch when I'm scrolling through Facebook. Sometimes still it pops up, and I have to stop and watch it because that was probably one of the most unbelievable things I've seen. That was just awesome to watch. Alex, you got any more questions?
Yeah, Lance, I just wanted to ask you, you've had at this point a really successful career, and you've been a lot of places, you've done a lot of things, like you said, you've beaten the Outlaws, you've won in Charlotte, you've won all over the place. At this point in your career, what is the proudest moment of your career to date?
Today?
Yeah.
It would be my Grove National wins, all of them, all 4 of them. Just because I did it with 4 different owners.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty. Yeah, I could see why that would be.
That and the all-time win list at Lance Grove. Yeah, I have a goal. I want to get to 100 before I retire. So we're 5 off that right now. So
yeah, it definitely looks like that's in your grasp.
That's kind of a new goal of mine there. That's kind of always been a little bit of a goal of mine, even before I was leading the thing. But you just never know. I mean, when it's all said and done, I'll look back and enjoy it all more. But, the Grove National wins me a lot to me. It's our biggest, to me, it's our Knoxville Nationals.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
At our home track, and I've been fortunate enough to win it 4 times for 4 different great owners.
What's one race that you haven't won yet that you really, before you hang the helmet up, that you really you want to have it, you got to have it? Which one?
That I gotta have?
Yeah,
Knoxville.
Knoxville.
I mean, that's of my whole career, that's the only race that I haven't won that I want to win.
Right.
But then I'm a realist too. I know how hard that is. I mean, think about this. In the last 20 years of Knoxville, how many different winners has there been?
Probably 2 or 3, probably.
I think there's 3, maybe 4.
Yeah. There might be 4 or 5. Lasowski won it a couple years.
Yeah, Craig Kinzer won it that one year. Yeah.
In there once. You had Shots dominating it.
Jason.
You had Steve before that.
Yeah.
You had Jason Johnson.
Brad Sweet.
Mark Kinzer had a couple there in the late 90s, I think.
Brad last year.
But not very many.
No, but the amazing part of all that, you go back the last 10 years, You had Brad win it last year. You had Jason Johnson win it the year before or 2 years.
Yeah.
The year before, wasn't it?
2016.
2016, so
Yeah. But
No,
2
okay,
years
2 years
before.
ago.
Yeah.
but Schatz has won 10 of the last 12, I think.
Yeah, that's right.
But you know what's so amazing about that stat of shots, though, even?
What's that?
Not the wins.
He's finished second.
Second and third in the ones he haven't won.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for like 16 straight years or something like
Yeah.
that. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. I mean, just think about everything that has to go your way. I mean, to me, the guy's the best to ever race Knoxville, from my opinion. I put him ahead of Steve Kinsler.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can't argue that one. I'd say that's pretty good.
It's hard.
I'd say it's true.
well, it's hard for us to argue it just because, Donnie Schatz is the Steve Kinzer of our era. We're younger guys, so
Yeah.
we didn't see Steve in his prime, so.
Yeah.
But
But the amazing part about that stat to me is, yes, Sweet won it last year. Schatz was second.
yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's
Jason Johnson won it. Schatz was second. You know what I mean?
yeah.
the year
Can't argue the facts.
the year Schaefer won it, he was losing an engine and had a tire going flat and still got second.
Yeah, that's true. I forgot about that.
I thought one year he was third. Was that? But maybe he was still second that year.
He got
We
second.
talked about Tim Schaefer winning.
Yeah, he got second to Schaefer that
Yeah.
year. So he's finished first or second every year for I don't know how many years now, but
Too many.
Yeah. But that's the amazing part to me. Sweet won the race, Jason Johnson won the race, Tim Schaefer won the race. But the guy to beat is still Donnie Schatz.
it's still Donnie's house.
I
yeah.
can't
The-
argue
the
that
thing-
fact.
Yeah.
The thing I admire about Donnie is not only, he wins all the time. I know a lot of people get tired of that, but Donnie Schatz, at least from our perspective, seems like he's a really class guy, really good
He
guy.
is.
He's a clean racer. He never takes anybody out. I mean, that just, to me, you just can't not respect the guy. I don't care who you are, so.
He is the cleanest racer that I ever raced against that
Wow.
wins as
Wow.
much as he does.
Mm-hmm.
And I consider myself a really clean racer.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say so.
But that's what's so neat racing him is he is not going to do the dumb thing.
Mhm.
And I've been fortunate enough to race against him, pass him for wins, and him pass me for wins. And he is not going. He'll leave you the lane if you're doing something, and you race him like he races you, which is so fun because you're not getting used up by a guy,
Right.
and he just still wins. And that's the amazing thing about it. And people might think he's in a slump a little bit right now, but I can tell you what, we've gone a week and a half here, and I think in Pennsylvania without any rain finally. They start getting these places where it becomes summertime and
Gets
no
slick.
rain and all. They're going to find out he's still the guy to beat.
Right.
I think Sweet has come a long way. I'm really impressed by how Sweet has became a better driver and better racer in a wing sprint car.
So I guess that.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to watch that whole deal the rest.
Yeah, the last 3-4 months the Outlaw
Yeah.
Tour is going to be one of the most competitive I think we've ever seen.
So with that being said, Lance, who do you think is going to win the points in the Outlaws then?
Well, I have to say Donnie,
Okay.
Yeah.
just because his consistency is so hard to beat. He will not take himself out.
Mm-hmm.
If he's running fifth, he'll run fifth. He won't wreck his car trying to run fourth. But Sweet's the same way right now, so it's going to be hard. And I don't know how their point structure is. I'm never really. I don't think it's a deal that somebody can get way ahead or way behind, unless one of them has a really bad string of luck.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But if one wins and the other one's second or third, I don't think you gain or lose a lot of points. So it'll be interesting. What's going to be interesting is from July, like when they come in here.
Mm-hmm.
This is one place that Sweet hasn't been real great yet. He's okay, but not great yet. And Donnie normally can run really good in here. So that's always been like the separator, it seems like. But Sweet's going really good. I mean, he's operating really good, and it'll be fun. I mean, I like to see a tight battle. Yeah, it's great for the sport. It's great for the fans. It'd be neat to when they show up in Charlotte on that second night of Charlotte on that Saturday night deal.
If it all comes down to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that they have to race and they have to, beat each other. That they haven't had that yet, so it'd be neat to have that. I mean, I'm sure neither one wants that, but
Definitely.
So,
it would pique my interest. I can tell you that.
Yeah, it'd pique all of our
Yeah,
interests.
definitely,
I agree.
for sure.
So, Lance, just kind of to wrap things up here real quick, who would you like to shout out and thank for all the success in your career? Who's helped you? Who helps you now on the team now? Who would you like to thank?
Well, I'd like to thank every owner I ever drove for and every mechanic I ever had. Every guy that has ever helped me. I've had a guy that helped me almost my whole career, except for like right now, he don't help me. A couple other times he didn't help me. His name's Jeff Sullivan. He's from my very first year on. So, he's meant a lot. My family, was a big backer. My dad, who's not with me no more, and my mother, they backed me, supported me 100%. And my wife has done a great job. It's not easy. Trust me when I tell you, it's not easy being a racer's wife. The highs and lows, the injuries, the mood swings, being miserable, coming home at night and being miserable, and it's just everybody that's been around. This year, I have to thank our sponsors, Hess Ironworks, Scott Hess and Lori Hess, and Schoenauer Plumbing. Both of them stepped up bigger this year. We lost a sponsor over the winter from them. One of our sponsors that they've been with Crates forever, retired from their business, so sold it. So both Hess and Schoenauer both stepped up big, helped us get a rider engine. So it just all of our sponsors and all the crew this year. It's just everybody. I'm a very appreciative of everybody that's ever done anything for me, helped me, and hopefully we can ride this wave as long as we can ride it.
Definitely.
Well, Lance, man, we want to thank you for your time tonight. This has been one of the coolest interviews we've ever gotten to done so far, and we wish you the best of luck and the best success for the rest of the season, and we'll see you in Knoxville in August.
Well, thank you very much. Anytime, I'm willing to do it anytime you want there, guys.
Awesome. Well, Lance, again. Yeah, definitely. Hey, thanks again. The fans want to thank you as well that are watching with us right now live. We just really appreciate it. Hopefully we'll also see you at Kings Royal. If not, we'll definitely see you in August for sure. So.
Yes, sir.
All right, thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks, Lance. Have a good night.
Thank you, you too.
Bye.
Wow.
Well, folks, I mean,
folks,
you,
if you didn't get to see that whole interview, you need to go back and watch that and listen to a guy who's one of the neatest people you'll probably ever meet in sprint car racing. So we would really appreciate it if you would like and share this video. That was what a guy! What a good guy,
dude! Man, that was awesome.
Again,
the knowledge from him too.
And the thing is, he's a working guy. He's a guy who has had to earn everything he's gotten in sprint car racing.
Yeah.
Which, not to say a lot of guys don't, but he just it's really cool to kind of he felt relatable, like a guy, anybody. Yeah. So I mean, what a guy, what a class act.
Yeah. Again, if you haven't got to see any of this one, or again, you've probably heard us when we were talking to him. We had Brad Sweet, Daniel Lasowski, Mark Dobmeyer. If you need to check any of those out, they're on this page. They're on our YouTube channel as well. But again, I have some housekeeping things for the podcast I'm going to bring up right now. Again, I cannot stress this enough.
Boy, housekeeping.
Housekeeping, yes. Again, I cannot stress enough. We are going to be at all 4 nights of the Kings Royal.
Oh, boy.
If you want to be there, I would definitely come. It's going to be awesome. We have a group meet with the worldwide sprint car fans. We're going to be alongside the owners of the page with the Joe 4 admins. Joe, Chris, Joe's wife Melissa, and another admin whose name I can't think of. I'm really sorry. I'm not going to try to butcher it like like I've butchered names in the past. We're really looking forward to that. We're going to be with the Dirt Nerds podcast. They're going to be there as well. And then Wes Iron, who is the head of Living Like an Outlaw. We're really excited for this opportunity to be at that meet and greet, and that's going to take place Saturday. before the race, but over in the Eldora Village, which is where we will be staying. We're going to camp it out. So
sounds good.
Get ready to look forward to, folks, live blogs from us daily from Eldora. The trip there, we'll have a blog. We'll have a trip Wednesday, obviously, because that's when we're leaving. We'll leave early in the morning, make it there to watch the race that night. Thursday, we'll do same thing all 4 nights. Then we'll have a homecoming video as well. We're really looking forward to that. Stay tuned for T-shirts. Our design is still in the works. Hopefully, we will have that at the end of next week. That's what I've been told the goal is to have it done by. So we're going to look into making T-shirts. Again, if you are interested, please inbox either one of us or the page with a size so we can get a rough estimate. They're going to be like a light gray and then white logo on the left chest area. It'll have our logo. It'll say Dirt and Asphalt and then podcast. So they're super simple. Again, I don't have pricing yet because I need to get a head count of how many shirts we need.
10,000.
Oh, but we'd be done.
We're golden.
We'd be done.
But don't forget, folks, tonight, the 41st running of the AGCO Jackson Nationals are underway right now. Jackson Motorplex, Jackson, Minnesota. Dirt Vision, as always, you can check them out.
Yes.
And we hope you tune into that. We want to see their ratings go through the roof. So
I
think we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Sadie.
Well, I want to go over one more thing, okay? Just give me this moment. Let's talk about Oskaloosa last night.
Let's do that another time.
Okay.
Let's do that.
Okay.
We'll do that tomorrow. Or Sunday. We'll do that Sunday.
We'll do it Sunday.
On a
Okay.
regularly scheduled podcast.
Congrats to the winners.
That's another show in and of itself. Trust me.
So, I guess then we'll wrap it up with congrats to the winners at the Southern Iowa Speedway.
Yep.
Last night. Again, upcoming podcast again will be Sunday next week. We're going to have Terry McCarl on, and I'm in the works with talking to David Gravel about his interview rescheduling for next week on what day that's going to fall.
Again,
I'm not sure.
Any local guys interested coming on, doing maybe a midweek interview or something like that at your race shop, at the racetrack, get a hold of us. We'd love to do it. We'd love to mix it up and get some modified and late model guys on the show as well. So
yes, and also Asphalt guys. I'm actually in the works right now with a few of them. I also want to give a quick shout out to my friend who's a longtime announcer, Scott Watson. He has a book coming out. Really excited for that, and he's also reached out to me today. He's going to get us some results from Eddyville and a few figure eight tracks because I feel like that's some more things. I feel like we are very focused on some because we're really able to get results for that pretty fast and relative and keep it relative between us. But as this is growing and getting bigger and the more people I have saying, hey, you're doing great here, touch on this. So we're trying to dip into all the buckets we can. So look forward for some more of that kind of stuff as well. But as always, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap it up right now. This has been your exclusive interview with Lance Dewease and some other housekeeping things from the Dirt and Asphalt podcast. As always, I'm Safe Grafke, and along me, Alex Wanders. Keep her clean and keep her green.
Follow us on social media.
Yes.